On a wet, chilly evening in early May 1934, every one of the 1,000 seats in the Glory Bee Theater in Miami, Oklahoma is filled. People are standing in the aisles. The film's Sucker Money has just ended when 13-year-old Geraldine Arnold steps behind the microphone. Less than just a year earlier, Geraldine has been an ordinary sixth grader. Now a packed theater is waiting to hear how George Machine Gun Kelly and his wife Catherine used her as a shield while fleeing across the country. Geraldine Arnold is an ordinary 13-year-old schoolgirl who enjoys spending her time with friends. Her parents, Luther and Flossie Arnold, are not wealthy. The family is traveling to visit one of Geraldine's great aunts when they encounter Catherine Kelly. Catherine, the wife of George Machine Gun Kelly, offers the family a ride in her truck. She initially introduces herself as Miss Montgomery and appears friendly, but soon admits her real identity. Catherine asks Luther to help her find a lawyer for her parents, who have been arrested. Luther agrees. Catherine then continues towards San Antonio with Flossie and Geraldine. In San Antonio, Geraldine meets George, Machine Gun Kelly, for the first time. George and Catherine are already wanted in connection with the kidnapping of oilman Charles Urschel, and investigators are beginning to close in on them. What began as a roadside encounter with a seemingly helpful woman has brought the Arnold family into the company of two wanted kidnappers. On September 11, 1933, the Kellys prepare to leave San Antonio. Catherine believes the police will be searching for a man and a woman traveling together, but a husband, wife, and child will attract less suspicion. She tells Flossie that Geraldine will only travel with them as far as Coleman, Texas, and promises that the girl will be back in San Antonio by 4 o'clock that afternoon. Geraldine believes she will be home within just a few hours. She does not understand that the Kellys intend to take her farther than Coleman or use her presence to make themselves appear like an ordinary family. Once they break their promise and continue north, Geraldine's only desire is to escape the dangers surrounding the Kellys, return to her parents, and resume her normal life. When the Kellys and Geraldine reach Coleman, Texas, a woman warns Catherine that officers have already been looking for her Ford pickup. The Kellys quickly change automobiles. Instead of returning Geraldine to her mother as promised, they continue north towards Chicago. As they travel, Catherine dyes George's hair and wears a wig to disguise herself. Geraldine is now trapped with two fugitives, desperately trying to avoid capture. In Chicago, they stay at the Astor Apartments. George makes frantic phone calls while Catherine hurriedly writes letters. Geraldine is told to place stamps on the envelopes addressed to Charles Urschel, Judge Edgar Vaught, Joseph Keenan, and attorney Herbert Hyde. Geraldine overhears the Kellys discussing the people receiving the letters and talking about killing them. They also say they should have taken Urschel to Arizona, killed him, and buried him there. Frightened by what she hears, Geraldine repeatedly asks to go home. Catherine assures her that she will not be harmed and buys her two dresses because she has no other clothing with her. One of them becomes the nicest dress that Geraldine owns. From Chicago, the group travels to Memphis in a new Chevrolet supplied by an associate named Joe Burgle, who also gives the Kellys $200 and a quart of whiskey. George considers returning to Coleman, Texas to recover ransom money buried at Cass Coleman's farm, but changes his mind. Instead, Geraldine and a man named Langford Ramsey are supposed to meet another person, collect the money, and carry it back to the Kellys. Catherine also wants them to retrieve her furs for a planned return to Chicago. What Geraldine believed would be a short trip to Coleman has become a 2-week flight across several states, and now she is being drawn deeper into the Kellys' efforts to escape and recover their money. Eventually, Geraldine is placed aboard a train in Fort Worth bound for Oklahoma City. After approximately 2 weeks in the company of the Kellys, she is finally traveling away from them. But when she arrives in Oklahoma, she discovers that her parents have been arrested. Returning home does not immediately restore the ordinary family life she wanted. Geraldine meets with agents from the Bureau of Investigation and tells them what she has heard and seen. Her knowledge of the Kellys' movements, conversations, and associates became valuable to the investigation. According to the account she later gives on stage, and helps authorities locate George and Catherine Kelly at their hiding place in Tennessee. The child the Kellys used to conceal themselves has become one of the people who helps expose them. By the time Geraldine's story begins circulating nationally, George and Catherine Kelly are serving life sentences in federal prison. Geraldine, meanwhile, is no longer known only as a schoolgirl who disappeared with them. Entertainment agent Kay Lee Williams organizes a tour of 20 Oklahoma theaters featuring her story. Her 10-minute presentation is titled My Experience in the Hands of the Kellys. It is paired with screenings of Sucker Money, a motion picture about grifters who kidnap a woman and hold her for ransom. The film's subject makes it a calculated companion to Geraldine's real experience. Audiences listen closely as Geraldine described traveling across the country with fugitives. Some audience members reportedly cry as they imagine what the 13-year-old girl endured. At the end of the presentation, Geraldine thanks J. Edgar Hoover and the Bureau of Investigation before her parents join her on stage. Luther and Flossie distribute handbills bearing their daughter's photograph beneath the words, Girl Nemesis of the Kellys. Audience members only have a short time to receive her autograph before the next motion picture begins. Newspapers and magazines carry her story across country, reaching hundreds of thousands of readers, including George and Catherine Kelly, inside federal prison. Geraldine finished her speech as her parents joined her beneath the theater lights. The Kellys had taken her because they believed a child would help them disappear. Instead, the girl that they used as camouflage remembered everything, helped expose them, and stood before packed theaters telling the country exactly who they were. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to further support the channel, you can join our Patreon and buy merch from our website, eclectichistoricalsociety.com. With that being said, this is the Eclectic Historical Society, and remember, history is lost if it is not repeated.